What's up everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Jeffrey from PSR Parts and today we have a BMW G20 330e, as you can see, all the way from the UK, visiting our shop for a few modifications. So we got something cool in store for this car. The car already has a few modifications from us, like the yellow daytime running lights, the intake system from DCE Parts, and of course a downpipe from DCE Parts. Today we will be installing a few more modifications. The car came all the way from the UK to get a axle back exhaust system from DCE Parts installed. The car already has OPF delete, a custom one, and charge pipes for a better durability of the turbo system. Lowering springs over here, and the car will also receive a styling upgrade. We'll check what kind of styling the customer likes. The customer brought original M340i exhaust tips with the original rear bumper trim. So we will be installing this for him as well to get a diffuser installed. So this exhaust will fit onto the original M340i tips on the back of this car. And we of course will also install the lowering springs to make the ride look even better. So before we start, we'll of course show you how the car sounds, because the car already has a Catless downpipe and an OPF delete. It is a custom OPF delete, so we'll check how that sounds right away. We of course already heard the car. I think the car sounds a little bit tinny, and the axle back over here, that will solve a lot of the that will give the car a much deeper sound. So that was the exhaust sound with the Catless downpipes, the custom OPF delete, and with the original back box. The car has the valves on the open mode. The valves have been disconnected, so the valve will remain open. It sounds a little bit tinny with the original rear muffler. So I think with the DCE Parts axle back exhaust, specifically designed for the 330e, the exhaust sound will be much better. It will be much throatier, the sound will be a lot deeper, and it will enhance the driving experience for the customer. Of course, we'll walk to the side. As you can see, the original 330e ride height is super tall, and with the Cobra Suspension Springs, the car will drop 45mm on the front and 40mm on the rear, and that will of course also enhance the look of the car and of course also the ride. So we'll walk you through the modification we've got over here. Like we said, we will start with a lowering spring kit from Cobra Suspension. These are the springs over here. So they're designed specifically for the BMW G20 330e, and they are also TUV rated. So they have the necessary paperwork if you are from Germany or Belgium or any other country that requires TUV. Designed specifically for the characteristics of these cars. To continue, we have the charge pipes over here. The original charge pipes are from plastic, and these new ones are made from aluminium, so they are more durable, and the insides are also better flowing, so they should add a little bit of performance, but those differences are marginal. However, it's mainly for durability. So if you have high boost on these cars, they tend to break, and this is the solution for that. Of course, we also have the rear muffler over here, also designed specifically for the BMW G20 330e. They also fit on the G21. Two valves. Originally they only have one valve, and with the valves open they bypass the middle muffler completely, so the exhaust flow will be diverted directly out to the exhaust tips. Well, and this customer has chosen the M340 exhaust tips. These are the original ones, and also the original bumper trim. And as you can see in the engine bay, there's also an intake from us. So here, this is where the charge pipe will go. and the downpipe has already been installed by the customer, along with the yellow daytime running lights. So why did the customer drive all the way from the UK to us? Well, we are of course one of the few parties that do a lot of the G20 330es, have a lot of experience with the hybrid system on these cars, and also with the tuning, the modifications that come with it. So with that, we of course can guide the customer through all the modifications that are required when you want to run higher power numbers, but also we can guide the customer with the modifications that we have for these cars. So be it styling wise, suspension wise, or performance wise. So that is a huge benefit if you come to us, of course. We know these cars really well. The different type of engines, the power numbers that they can run, the modifications required to run those numbers. And that is why the customer came all the way from London to us. So here we are. The car has been lowered on Cobra Suspension Lowering Springs, 45mm in the front, 40mm in the back. The lowering springs have been designed for the G20 330e and specifically tailored for the characteristics of this car, which means it has been designed for the original shocks and it has been TÜV approved to ride on this ride height. This means that the springs are TÜV tested and they are compliant to the TÜV standard. A lot of people ask, if you lower the car, will the car still have enough bump, have enough travel? And the answer is yes. These springs have been designed specifically for the G20 330e and they are rated for the maximum axle load specified by BMW. So that means that the maximum permissible axle load on this car in combination with this lowering spring is still a safe combination, can be used on the road, and they are TÜV approved, also for Belgium, GOKA approved, which means that you can use this lowering spring also in countries where these papers are required. It also means that the lowering springs are safe and designed for the ride height that it is on right now, which means this is a safe product, compliant to the road standards set by the TÜV. So, for who is this kit for then? Because the 45mm is quite a drop. Well, this car is of course sitting really tall when you are you have a stock BMW G20 330e, and even after lowering, you can see it still looks very OEM plus. It is not a car that looks like sagged down because it's too heavy or whatever. This car still looks very nice, even with the lowering springs installed. So it is a large drop. 45mm is normally a huge drop, but because they sit so tall, this is still a very nice ride height. So if you want something that for your car that looks a lot better, this is one of the kits that we have available for this car. We also have a 30mm kit from Cobra Suspension available, allowing for the car to sit a bit lower, even more OEM plus, without compromising too much on comfort. This kit is a kit that we had on our own car for a long time, about 40,000 kilometers. 1.5 years, I think, and we were super happy with how the car looked, how the car ride, and we have also demoed a lot of the ride qualities to our customers. Right now, our car is on a Cobra Suspension Evo S coilover, allowing for even more comfort on a lower ride height. That is because the shock absorbers on the Cobra Suspension Evo S are actually tailored for an even lower ride height, so they are matching the lower ride height even better. The damping characteristics are better, but this is a very great middle ground, allowing for customers to choose to lower their car in a cost-efficient way. So you reuse the original shock absorbers, and they also work with the adaptive suspension. The Cobra Suspension coilovers are of course also available, but they are a tad more expensive, so it is something that's up to the customer to decide. And on this ride height, we are super happy with how the car rides. The car was very comfortable on the highways. Of course, a little bit more bumpy on B roads, but that is of course it isn't actually not even much worse than a 330i on the same ride height. So This ride height is probably the same as when you lower a 330i M Sport with 20mm, and then the car still feels really comfortable. The 330i was even a tad more sportier, a tad more, the ride was even a bit harsher. The 330 is actually really forgiving due to the heavier weight compared to the 330i. So I will show you the fitment of the original 19-inch wheels on the BMW G20 330e. But this goes for most BMW G20s, G21s. Normally, when we lower the cars, we install a 12mm spacer on the front and 12mm spacer on the rear, making the car look OEM plus, which means that the spacers will bring the wheels out, but not by too much. This customer chose not to install spacers, so that is normally something that we do recommend on these kind of cars to make the car look even better. But the customer didn't choose for it because this car will be riding on the MW3s from Motec Performance in the near future. So that was a choice by the customer, and the car will of course look incredible when we have the MW3 on this car. So yeah, let's see how it looks afterwards then. So of course I will also explain to you how the DCE Parts axle back works. So this is where the axle back connects to the original mid pipe. And there's a valve over here and a valve over here. So if you walk to the other side, you can see the split here. So the exhaust splits the exhaust flow into two pipes. And when you open these valves on both sides, the exhaust flow will flow right out on both sides. If you close them, all of the exhaust flow will pass through this muffler here and then go out through the exhaust tips. So my colleague has already installed the Chargepipe right over here, and the Chargepipe is a essential part of the turbo system, allowing for the compressed air to pass into the intake, into the engine. And these are prone to fail when you ask for more boost. So this Chargepipe system is now upgraded to an aluminum one. It's more sturdy, it's less prone to fail, which means you can run higher boosts without worrying that the charge system will fail eventually. If you don't upgrade that, and if you go to a stage 2 or a stage 3 even, the car might have a failure in the charge system, which means the charge air will not reach the intake and you will lose all of your boost. In the future, we will also may upgrade the turbo inlet. The turbo inlet is right over here. That is where your intake connects to. And this one still has a resonator. And we are coming up with a new design that removes the resonator, now allowing for the air to flow even more freely. This intake that we sold to this customer is an open intake that fit right onto the original turbo inlet, which means the turbo inlet can be removed afterwards and replaced by a higher flowing one in the future. So there it is, the BMW G20 330e is back on the ground. We have installed the axle back exhaust with the new diffuser, and of course together with the M340i exhaust tips. The car looks amazing, and of course we have already started the car before, but it's insane. I will let my colleague start the car and let you hear how it sounds. So here we are inside the BMW G20 330e with the mods installed, and we are now in the hybrid mode. I'll put it in sport mode to start up the engine. The engine has already been warmed up, so that's great for the video. And currently the valves are closed, so we are now testing the car in the valves closed mode. And this car has been remapped, so the car will pop a little bit. However, with the valves closed, the sound is actually really sophisticated. It is not too much, but if you open the valves, hell breaks loose. It is insane what the difference actually is, and we of course know this setup already from our own car. And on our own car, when you are cruising on the highway, the car actually feels really comfortable. But I must say that this is really cool to have this setup again. So let's head to the open roads so we can show you the exhaust a bit. We are here now on the way to the roundabout. So here we go. Of course, we are not used to driving on this side of the road, but this works perfectly fine. We'll get used to it. As you can see, the car feels and sounds just like your regular 320e, 330e, and with the valves open, the car feels so much more fun. So let's put the valves open. So that's with the valves open. This sound is familiar, let's say it like that. And now the valves are closed again. Great! We'll drive a bit further, show you how it sounds with the car in the highest gear. This is how the car sounds with the valves closed at 100 kilometers an hour. It's actually pretty good, right? Nothing to complain about. Now the valves are open again. The pops are funny. It's actually really hard to create pops on these cars, so we managed to do that on our car, but it is a little bit manipulated to get the sound you want. It is not the same as a 330i or M340i. Those cars are totally different in terms of the engine management. So in that respect, this is of course already a improvement compared to the stock tunes on these cars, and it makes it more fun to drive. Of course, not everyone is fan of burbling or pops and bangs, but as long as you keep it subtle and don't use it all the time in the city centers, it's actually pretty fine. I mean, BMW M cars do it stock, and same goes to the M340, M240i's. If you free up the exhaust flow by removing the downpipes and the OPF, they will already have a lot more burbles, but these cars need to be programmed specifically to do that, and that requires a little bit of development to do that. Yeah. With all these mods, so the car has been remapped to a stage 2, and of course also the open air intake. The car has a lot more the driving experience in this car has evolved a lot. I mean, if you go on boost and you let go of the throttle, you can hear the intake blow off. Has a lot more turbo noises. So we're now driving 120 kilometers an hour, and as you can hear, the car is completely silent with the valves closed. Of course you hear it a bit more compared to stock, but on constant speeds the car is just completely silent, and that's what we want, of course, with a axle back system, or actually it is almost similar like our full catback. This car has a custom OPF delete, but our catback comes with the full mid pipe as well, which is a one kit, and of course a Catless downpipe. So for this setup, with the potential the car has right now, it is incredibly silent with the valves closed, and that's the best of both worlds. I mean, we love cars to make some noise, but it already, of course, depends on what you want. I mean, not everyone wants a freaking loud car, but this gives the owner, or at least the driver, the chance to choose for two different types of driving modes, allowing the customer to close the valves when they want it, open the valves when they want it. But the most important thing is, of course, that when you drive long distances, you don't want to get tired in your car. I mean, there are a lot of cars that sound incredibly well, but you just don't want to be in them for a long time. And this is just a perfect combination of both worlds. I mean, it is sporty when you want it, and silent when you need it to be. And that's, of course, a good thing. So, of course, other than the axle back that we have just installed, the car has also been lowered, and the car feels really comfortable still in the comfort mode. This car has adaptive suspension, so the car is actually riding really well when you put it in comfort mode. It's actually soaking up the bumps really well, and with that, despite the car being much lower, the car is still really comfortable. And that is what we want when we install a lowering kit like this. We said it before in the video, the kit has to match the characteristics of this car, otherwise we do not want to supply it to you. So the springs have been designed for the characteristics of this car, the axle loads of this car, which means the car feels really comfortable when we need it to be. So here we are back from our test drive. The car has been almost finished. All the modifications have been installed. As you can see, the customer already had the yellow daytime running lights in the front. We have installed the intake, the downpipe was already on the car, and the lowering on the car, of course, looks amazing. As you can see, 45mm in the front and 40 in the back. And we also installed the rear muffler along with the M340i exhaust tips and a M340i diffuser. The rear diffuser was, the bumper trim was an original one, along with the M340i exhaust tips, and of course the DCE Parts rear muffler, which also have been installed. They fit perfectly with the M340i exhaust tips. We have also installed the rear spoiler here in gloss black. The customer had a more subtle one and wanted something more, more aggressive, so we helped with that. So like we said, the lowering on the car has transformed the ride. Still very comfortable, but the look on the car is completely different. It's not the super tall monster truck it was before. With these wheels and the 45mm drop, the car looks a lot better. But of course, afterwards, after the customer is back in the UK, they will install the Motec performance wheels, which will make the car look even better. And in the front, we'll open the hood. So right over here is the DCE Parts intake, and here the DCE Parts Chargepipe. These benefit the customer with more durability and more performance, of course. So these modifications are necessary when you turn up the boost on these cars. Of course, the yellow daytime running lights were already installed, and if you put the car into auto mode, I think the blue whitish light fit the yellow daytime running light perfectly. So yeah, that's it for this project. Tomorrow, close the hood first. Tomorrow we'll also be installing the splitter that we also got on our demo car, and once that has been finished, the customer is ready to pick up the car. So right now the front looks a little bit too subtle compared to the rest of the car, but that is because the splitter has been ran off in the UK already, so not here. But now we can install the more aggressive splitter that we also have on our demo car. So that will make the car look even more aggressive. And then afterwards we will take the photos and do another video of the modification that we've done so far. Also explain how the axle back exhaust works. So we have the remote control over here. You can press the remote control once and that opens the valves, and press the up button and that will close the valves. Works in all modes, so in extra boost it works, but also in hybrid once the engine is running. So we chose for a separate system like this because the hybrid does not open the valves standard when it's in sport mode. So with this solution, the remote control, we have full control over the exhaust system, and that happens with an external remote control module. So that works with every single driving mode except for the electric one, of course, because then the engine is off. But the remote control module will keep working. So even when you drive in electric mode, the car will memorize which mode it was in when you closed or opened the valves. And once the engine goes on or off, it will remain in that state, of course. So yeah, super excited. We'll do the splitter tomorrow morning, do the alignment on the car, and once that is done, then the customer can pick up his car again. So here we go. We've got the splitter installed, the one that we also got on our demo car. You can see in gloss black this time. It's now time to bring the car to the for alignment. So let's drop it to the floor. Yes, we got the car back from the alignment, and we thought wouldn't it be cool to show them both off, the our BMW G20 330e together with the one from the UK. Both share the same splitters, similar style mirror caps, of course, and they also both have the yellow daytime running lights. So we're going to show you some B-roll of these cars. Like and subscribe, and see you next time.